My personal DG Arsenal uncomfortable truths. Now, I always sit here and I reflect how I am as a person. I'm quite balanced in my opinion. I like to look at all variables, all sides of a potential debate or argument or situation, and provide my appropriate opinion when I'm informed of everything. I always do this analytical thing, people. But for this video, I thought to myself, you know what? As much as I do that stuff and as much as I try and find code and everything, it's about time I spoke with my heart and what I just believe as an unfiltered Arsenal fan. We're all allowed opinions. And here's mine, people. The first up is Mikel Arteta. I'm not gonna lie, Mikel Arteta, you're my guy, you know, for all your faults and all the things you're good at, you're my guy. I don't know if you could take us to the promised land. I don't know if we'll do what we all would love our football club to do, but you have shown me you're a great man manager with obviously scope like everyone for improvement, but man management, tactics, improving of players, talent ID, making things happen, making unpopular opinions or unpopular decisions would be the better way of putting it, and making it work. Now, again, there's been bumps and bruises, there's been twists and turns. I'm not making out that Mikel Arteta is perfect. And again, I support Arsenal Football Club, not necessarily the players or the manager. Of course, I support everybody within this umbrella of a football club, but I support the club in essence. My point of saying that is to say this: I don't have any divine, appreciation for these individuals that are connected with the football club beyond them playing for my football club. I'm sure they're good guys. Obviously, I love them from a human point of view, as we all should in this world. But it is what it is. If you didn't play for Arsenal, it's irrelevant to a degree, isn't it? So, Mikel, you're my guy, and you're making us good. Like I said, on the technical front, on the tactical front, everything you're doing is wavy. We're not getting bullied anymore. We're doing the bullying. We're clearing out stadiums up and down the country. The top 6 record is immaculate. We're shining like nines and them lot. We came up the hard way, really and truly. But I cannot lie, we need to collect a 1-2 trophy, Gaffer, man. Like, as much as I like what's going on and things like that, I'm not even trying to say we should be Real Madrid or be on the Madrid thing. Of course, I would love that. But at the end of the day, I'm just asking for one significant trophy. English Super Cup, we won that in August. Shameless. But at the same time, if we could just win a 1-2 Premier League, I know it's easier said than done. We know Pep Guardiola is a madman. We know things are difficult. But at the same time, this, pressure makes diamonds, and you lot wanted to be footballers and football managers. This is what comes with it. I would love just a 1-2 trophy, man, just something, because as much as we're doing all right, and rival fans, especially my Chelsea, Manchester United, Liverpool, and unfortunately Spurs supporting friends, when they're done trying to run banter, especially Spurs, stay out of this conversation. They know we're doing lit things. We're all right now. We're doing things. But they're still yapping away. They're still talking like my guy Mikel Arteta ain't bust. He's gone at all of those football clubs and caused some sleepless nights for them fans. Please allow it. But as much as I'm proud of our season, and deep down, I'm very proud of what my football club is doing and all the people representing it. But when I look away from that poetic stuff, that Arsene Wenger stuff, shout out Grandad, and I look at the cold-hearted facts, the Jose Mourinho cerebral settings, cold-hearted facts, we didn't win anything. Now, this might be a season or seasons, if you include the previous season to the one that's just gone, of building blocks, of ones we look back and say, this is where the magic really and truly started to happen. But unfortunately, second place, first loses. It don't really matter, really. It's all fun and games running a race. You want to win. That's when the galley, they love the winners and whatnot. But at the same time, man, please, can we just win stuff, man? I would also say, for me personally, people, we're not getting out of the hood. We're not getting into the promised land without fixing up midfield. And I listen, big up Thomas Partey. Shout out Jorginho. Declan Rice is amazing in the middle. Jorginho doing his thing, Declan Rice, all of the midfielders doing what they need to do. But at the same time, there is not that long-term partner for Declan Rice to create that, finish that triangle of him, the new guy, and Martin Odegaard. Until we fix up central midfield, I don't think we're getting to where we need to get to. We need that guy that can dictate the tempo of the games, that Santi Cazorla regen. Yes, it's easier said than done. But this is why these lot are in charge of signing players and developing players, and I'm sitting here offering my opinion. It comes with the environment that they stepped into. We need that. As much as I like Partey, on his day, absolute mustard. Jorginho, good. Fabio Vieira and Smith Rowe have their own sort of talking points, but they're decent players. There's been a lot of auditions for that third man role in midfield. Nobody's grabbed that. And I would love to wake up tomorrow and one of these existing players is a long-term option in that regard. But the market is open, spend the money, let's get that central midfielder. I might even be moving a bit mad. We'll get on to other positions, but I actually think central midfield is the most important thing we can do in August or July or whatever. I think this is the most important thing we need to really fix up. Look at our defense, people. Look at our attack. We've got some stability. Midfield in terms of age and whatnot. Yes, Martin Odegaard and Rice are exceptions, but we haven't really got that longevity essentially. And the players that could provide that in Fabio Vieira and Smith Rowe, they could or could not be at the club. And if they are they necessarily going to be significant players in that regards? You never know. Smith Rowe once was. Fabio's had his injuries, but currently you seem like at best they're on the peripheral. Edu and Mikel Arteta were midfielders. We need that. Imagine how great Declan and Odegaard and our team collectively would be if we fixed that up. If it was up to me, we'd sign two, but it's not. So let's bring in one. Obviously, Jorginho will probably be here for another year. Big him up, not dissing him. Next summer, a next one in, really and truly. That's what we need. Moving away from that, I can't lie, we need a forward. Big up all the attackers, especially Bukayo Saka, because he's homegrown and whatnot. Shout out all of them. Kai Havertz, you're doing your thing. Would love to wake up and you're putting in those performances in the middle of the park as much as up front as well. Best of both worlds. But, and I'm not saying to alienate anyone, but we need a forward. Quite frankly, people, I'm not trying to hear nothing less. If we could get a winger with certain spare change in the transfer market, which I think is also vital, bring that, people. Shout out the players and the man that we've got at the team. They're doing their thing. The last 2 years in particular, some players in the last 2 years have, had better season than others. But generally, Trossard, Saka, Martinelli, all of these guys, it's lit. And the names I haven't said, but we need a striker. When we're at our best, we're really good. And obviously, we've got 3 points and won a lot of games or got things from games generally last season when we wasn't necessarily amazing or at our best, which I'm not criticizing. 38 Premier League games, you're not going to be amazing for all of them. But quite frankly, we need to get out of jail card. We need a shooter that at times where, their individual brilliance or them just being a cold-hearted, calculated finisher in the box can just simply once again, get us out of trouble, get us out of jail, get us 3 points or a point where, quite frankly, we don't deserve that. And again, I personally think we've got to cross the bridge of winning the Premier League and being kind of up there in that regards before we talk about the Champions League. But generally across the Premier League, kind of carrying on with this point, and also where you look at the champs, which we're a long way away from being in a serious conversation for that, let's be brutally honest. It's all about individual brilliance, and we've got players capable of that, but that higher level we don't. Now again, I'm not expecting us to spend bringing Mbappe and Vinicius and all these guys. Would love it, but that's not how it works. But I think we need a striker. I want the existing players, if they're not in good form, to get back to their best. If they're in good form, take it to even higher heights, really and truly, and keep doing better. But I think we need a striker. As I said there, a winger, either to rotate in for Saka or to challenge Saka, or just, again, indirectly, just making sure we've got players that can get us out of jail. We need to do that. Mikel Arteta, going back to the first point, rate what the guy's doing. Think nothing is a coincidence. Everything here is a byproduct of what the man's been working on. By the same vein and by the same, on one hand, I praise you for all of this. On the second hand, I have to ask questions. I can't just say everything's amazing. I have to be honest with what I see. Arteta is very calculated. He's assembled this squad in a great way. So when he comes out here and together with Edu and says we've got one of the smallest squads and things like that, I have to ask why. Because if I'm harsh, as an honest fan, it only looks like 12 players really and truly are trusted. Again, everybody's in the squad because they're trusted and there's naturally a hierarchy and all of that jazz. But assume, just to make the example easier, if Trossard's on the bench, the 11 out there are obviously trusted, and then it's a Trossard thing. Now, I'd extend that to maybe about 14, Gabriel, Jesus, Zinchenko, these lot have been in and around to a fair degree. But that's not sustainable for what we want to do. And again, we done well on the face of it with, coping with injuries and whatnot and things like that across last season. But if we want to get to where we want to, how many times are we going to watch the same old movie and be surprised by the same ending? We know Partey's got issues. I love Tomiyasu. We know we've got issues in that regards. A couple of other players pick up knocks, and the ones that are durable, the Salibas, the Benjamin Whites, etc. Obviously, if you're fit playing, I think our fans, including myself, make a big song and dance about rest and all of these things. But the more that these guys have to play and we're not afforded even the opportunity to think about not starting them, honestly, you run them into the red zone and things like that. So I would like to see that, man, really and truly, if I'm honest. Again, on the striker front, if Sesko's the guy, seems to be flavor of the month, and everyone we've been, out of everyone we've been linked with, apologies, this week he's been linked with us the most. So if that's the guy, get it done. But I need another striker. I need a winger. I definitely need central midfield fixed. I need some trophies, people. And I'd also like to see us get some decent funds. Now, I know this ain't FIFA or Football Manager or anything of that ilk, people. But other clubs, realistically, some of our players, whether we rate them or not, they get decent fees. You know, Tierney, you're hearing rumours of 10 million. I understand all the factors that could contribute to that, but that's really unacceptable. 50 million allegedly, 40 million plus an extra 10 in add-ons for Ramsdale, step in the right direction. Reece Nelson and then Nketiah, let's get something decent. Young Charlie Patino and Mika Bereth, let's get something decent. You know, easier said than done, but the Tavares, the Lokongas, well, to be fair, just get them out the door, really. But you get the point, people. So these are just my unfiltered opinions of sorts, or just honestly how I feel away from the diplomatic kind of stuff. Let me know your thoughts. Like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, stay safe, stay blessed. Peace.